Welcome to the Roger Report live on the entertainment side. And I just checked out the movie Independence Day. Great movie, y'all. Great movie. 4th of July just came in. Got to thinking about it. Said, hey, let me check out Independence Day. Quick little throwback, y'all. Got to say, y'all, one of the greatest movies, man. One of the greatest movies. This film was just totally dope, man. It was good to see this film again and how it stacks up against films of today. Of course, this is an action movie. Great action. Whole world was on the line. I do kind of like it when the whole world is on the line. I must admit that, y'all. I do kind of like it when the whole world is on the line. And this movie, brought us into a world where I kind of like the way they balance this movie out. No character really, in my opinion, too much outshine the other characters. Like this was a good balance of what was going on, how certain people who would connect together would look at these particular events that was going on. How this strange occurrence brought these people lives just that much closer. Because before before this happened, they were technically worlds apart. After this happens, man, they right there with each other. So I think it was just a fantastic piece of work. Great idea. Everything about the movie was just amazing at the end of the day. Everyone can be proud of themselves on this one. Where you had some folks intermingling they wouldn't normally mingle. Steven, which was played by Will Smith, was a captain, and he took that main mission to take down them aliens that's coming to Earth to kick off a whole lot of trouble. What it seemed like for no reason. Bill Pullman played a president, and I think he did a fantastic role in the job. Someone who's sure of himself out there in the battlefield, sure, not as used to politics as maybe he would want to be, but handling this critical situation, I think he was doing a fantastic job. And Jeff Goldblum played David, who, just a brilliant man, figured out the aliens were running a countdown, and countdown means something. Okay, countdown means something. So you knew it was going to be some trouble at the end of the day. They weren't going to just let that go by. Now, a lot of you may have seen Independence Day. Let's see, Independence Day came out way back when, 1996. Okay, way back when in 1996. To me, kind of a revolutionary film. One of the better films of the 90s. Oh, I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and not having seen it in a while, a good while, it was almost like watching it new. I did appreciate the destruction that was going on. I did appreciate how the plan was unfolded. I appreciated the everything that was at stake in this particular film. Now they did have this captain in the Air Force who was marrying a stripper, so that was kind of wild. That was kind of wild right there. You have a captain marrying a stripper who, is a single mother. Hey, they gonna do that to the brother. They had to do that to the brother. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But honestly, this was back in Vivica Fox's day when she was still quote unquote fine as wine, as people would say. So it was cool. The dynamic going on between David and his father, which was named Julius. Him saying he ain't spoke to God like 15 years. Well, I guess if you gonna pray, this will be the time to start praying again. If you gotta start praying, you know, you ain't talked to God in 15 years, but some aliens just showed up and going into key areas around the world. I think that's a good day to start praying again. So, the film was just a masterful story. This is a masterful story. Now, if you're a younger person and you ain't never seen this film, stop playing with yourself, man. You need to get this one in. You need to get this one in. And I know how it can be. It can be some older folks telling you to watch some old movie that you ain't gonna be trash. Uh, let's keep it real. A lot of folks think, well, they just saying that because them people's old. They don't know what they talking about. No. This ain't one of them films, y'all. This ain't trash at all. This rivals stuff going on in 2025 because the storyline was so good. The way the aliens came through, the type of scientific advancement they had, because I've always said, you don't really want aliens to show up because if aliens can show up, they are so scientifically ahead of us. It's going to be a huge problem at the end of the day. And the people who put this film together really took that to heart, and they made it where this was basically an impossible and improbable task to deal with these aliens that were able to come from wherever they came from, because they are unknown. So we don't know what galaxy they came from. We don't know how how their technology is, how they get around. Now, technically, we had a little bit of information, which you'll kind of figure out as the film, which you'll see as the film goes on. But if an alien can jump through past galaxies, we as humans can't really handle no aliens with the power to do all that. So of course, there were going to be problems for us. And I like the fact that the film did not take that lightly. They didn't give the humans an easy way out. They didn't make it where you could just scoff past anything that was going on, even from a scientific point. They made this just a real impossible task. So now we got to save all the humanity, y'all. People stepped up where they could step up. I will say that. The people who stepped up, they stepped up where they could. They did that they was good at, and they didn't make it. Uh, it wasn't just a film where everybody just makes it through, and there's nothing at stake. I do dig that fact. If we had to do these things in a real life, if this was our actual universe, yeah, there's gonna be people that die. It just is what it is. You know, it's not a great thing. It's not a happy thing, but everybody ain't gonna make it. And the film does a great job to show that everybody didn't make it. So if you've already seen this one before, since this is a throwback, man, go watch it again. You're gonna love it again. And if you haven't seen it already, man, go experience great writing, y'all. Go experience a great cinema. Go experience a great storyline. This is how cinema was made to be. Enjoy the thing, y'all. Enjoy the thing. Because, it was just a normal day. And then the next thing you know, boom, it's aliens in the sky. Not just in one place, not just in two places, but strategically being positioned all over the world so they can handle their business. So it shows they did not come to play. And it wasn't no playing in Independence Day, y'all. It just wasn't. So this was a great ride all the way through. And if you don't know, I'm your host. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.